So good evening, ISODians. Welcome back to the Friday Connect series. So we have Mr. Neeraj Shah. So who's actually going to be talking to us about the technology possibility on ChatGPT and other areas. So Vimesh, are you there?
Ashok, Vimesh told me probably he won't be there.
Yeah, okay. I'm here for the first 2 minutes, then I'll be logging off.
So Vimesh, can you introduce Mr. Neeraj Shah?
Vinod will introduce.
Yeah, no, I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay, over to Vinod.
Yeah, welcome all the members. Good afternoon, good evening. And I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Neeraj Shah, who is going to host this session. So the buzzword we keep hearing about AI. So he's one of the pioneers in AI marketing. He mentors businesses for growth. He also educates business owners like all of you on how to use technology so that you can increase your revenue. He's also a LinkedIn expert and is a faculty and helping companies to increase their client acquisition using LinkedIn. He's also known for starting BNI in India. And with that, I would like to welcome him to address all of us on how to use ChatGPT effectively in our businesses. Over to you, Neeraj.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinod. I really appreciate it. And thank you to Vimesh as well for initiating this. Okay, awesome. So ChatGPT is the buzzword, right? And I know each and every one of you is super busy in your business. I will share a quick story about how I got started with this, but let's do this. I have a presentation. I have a short video to show you, and then we will get into what we're going to be covering today. So hopefully all of you are able to see my screen.
Change is inevitable. We have known change to be slow and steady at first, and then sudden. But what happens when disruption becomes the new normal? Some of us were prepared, and others were not. But all of us were caught off guard by the magnitude of change. All failure is failure to adapt. Adaptability and action create opportunity. The future of work is here, and it came early. Work is no longer confined to assigned physical spaces. Each organization is a mini city in itself, with solutions at each touch point, trying to maximize the creativity, imagination, and productivity of a workforce constantly pushing the limits of possibilities. Workforce built of diverse cultures, ways of working, and experiences, all coming together for a common goal. In a world where everything is connected and systems are reaching a state of perfection, the only thing that separates excellence from just good enough is you. You are the central point in one of the most transformational times in human history. Fueled by exponential digitization, mobilization, and automation, amplifying each other to create a perfect storm of change. But the question is, do you want to drive the change or be driven by it? If technology is the how of change, humans are the why. It is time to go beyond technology to reach human insights. To adapt is to move ahead, and to be more resilient, you must start engaging with what could be and not just what is. The opportunity is here to be fluid, to create not just functional environments, but adaptive, intuitive, and humanized ecosystems. The future of work is not about integrating systems. It is about integrating experiences, a chain of seamlessly linked positive encounters that transcend technology and equip your workforce with means to realize maximum potential. Future doesn't just happen. You make it happen.
Tonight, we're taking a closer look at a new technology that's making waves in the world of AI. GPT, a language model created by OpenAI, has the ability to respond to prompts in a human-like manner.
On November 30th of 2022, the world changed forever. Artificial intelligence, or AI, became accessible to the public for free through a tool called ChatGPT.
ChatGPT,
which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer.
A robot you can talk to.
That you can log on to and have a conversation with.
And it went from 0 to 1 million users in 5 days, which is the fastest any platform has gotten to 1 million users. It took Facebook 2 years, it took Instagram 2 years, it took Pinterest 4 months, and it took Angry Birds 35 days. I think that it has the potential to unravel the very fabric of capitalism itself and what it means for us as individuals.
So here we are. The world is rapidly changing, and we are being impacted by AI as we speak. In the next 5 years, we're going to see more change than has happened in the last 100 years. So what is the impact of AI? What is ChatGPT? Yes, you've heard of it, but what can it really do? How do we talk to this AI in a way that can help us in day-to-day? What are some limitations? And then I'll dive into actually showing you some use cases of ChatGPT live so that you can really understand how powerful this new technology is. So let's help you supercharge your business with ChatGPT. So is it a threat or an opportunity? If you talk to people like Elon Musk, he's very concerned about what artificial intelligence can do. And he says that the risk of something seriously dangerous happening in the next 5 to 10 years' time is very big. This is what Elon Musk has been quoted as saying. In fact, because of this particular concern, OpenAI has been created, and OpenAI was there to help create a safe AI that will take care of human beings. Now, on the other front, Goldman Sachs released a report saying that between 75 to 375 million people may need to switch their jobs or learn new skills simply because of these rapid changes that are happening because of AI and automation. In fact, a recent survey that was released said that normal office admin staff, 46% of it could be, automated using robots and AI. So things are changing rapidly. So is it a threat or an opportunity? What I would like to impress upon you is that AI is not going to just take jobs, but it will transform jobs. And the people who know how to use it will be able to get ahead. So, embrace the change, don't panic. Panic comes from when you don't understand something. So when there is something new, take interest in it and look at practical ways in which you can begin to harness AI to help you focus on making real money. So Elon Musk also says that you will be paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems that you solve. AI is a force multiplier. It is able to change everything that you know. And what had happened for me was that in December 14th, 2022, a friend of mine from the UK, whose software I use to create some very sophisticated marketing, all of that marketing took me something like 2 days to put together, end to end to execute it. He proceeded to show me in the next 35 minutes how to do the same thing in 35 minutes. So it was amazing. I got the same quality of work because I had already done that particular work. So I knew what I was expecting. But imagine 2 days, being shrunk into 35 minutes, That is just astounding. Nothing else that I know out there can do it to this particular level. So this was my introduction to ChatGPT. And from that day on, I decided to go all in into AI and ChatGPT, and I would be spending between 2 to 3 hours a day on LinkedIn. On ChatGPT. So massive change is coming. And in the next 5 years, we're going to see more than has happened in the last 100 years. Let's put it into perspective. In the 1700s, we went through the agrarian revolution. In the 1800s, it gave way to the industrial revolution. Okay. Each of those, the time periods have been getting shorter and shorter. By the 1950s, we went into the information age, and technology, initially large computers led to PCs, which ended up changing everything. And we're now from the from the 2020s, we are going into the next revolution, which is the AI revolution. So the AI revolution is being underpinned by three very important things: data, algorithms, and trust. And we will look at why trust is going to be very important moving forward when we look at some of the downsides of AI and ChatGPT. So what is ChatGPT? It is a very powerful computer that has been trained on a lot of information. ChatGPT-4 has been trained on 1 trillion with a T bits of information. And using artificial intelligence and machine learning, it has been able to make sense of it together with humans actually trained it. So when it used to come out with answers, it ended up being trained on whether it was a good answer or a bad answer. Okay, so that's why it is a generative pre-trained transformer. And essentially, you are able to talk to it like how you can talk to a normal human being. It understands how you would write, and it is able to put the context of what you want out and able to output it. And we will see some of the ways in which you can end up using it. So who are the team behind it? It is the same team, essentially, that made PayPal a big success. They are called the PayPal Mafia. So including Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Reid Hoffman, who went on to then found LinkedIn. They're some of the key investors, who are the high-profile individual investors. Plus, you have big companies like Microsoft, Infosys, etc., and other venture funds that are behind it. Microsoft has ended up investing over $11 billion in it, and they are the majority, 51% shareholder in ChatGPT. So while OpenAI remains to be open, ChatGPT, which is a product of OpenAI, is 51% owned by Microsoft. And this has given them a huge edge in integrating it. The next phase, which is happening this year, essentially, is that they're integrating this in all their software, okay? And because they have been dealing with enterprises for so long, essentially, everyone's going to get this upgrade through the Microsoft Copilot. So we heard about it. It went from, it got launched on the 16th of November, and it reached 1 million users in 5 days. And by the end of January, it was at 100 million users. They expect by the end of this year, it's going to be 300 million users. But I want you to just consider that for a moment. 100 million users, if we look at the whole world population, is really not much, okay? So anyone who's going to end up using it, okay, is going to have a head start. And what I'm going to say to you is that this is an aggressive, fast-moving revolution. And if you stay up to date with it, you will be able to move ahead much faster than the people who are going to then try and play catch up. So having used this daily in my business for the last 6 months, what I have seen is these three specific things. There's been a huge boost in productivity. It's saving me between 1.5 to 2 hours a day. The quality of the output is just phenomenal. Okay, and I will show you some of these things live. And you're able to really stay ahead of the kind of curve. It's allowed me to end up launching 2 new products in the market and actually just monetize them. If I hadn't got ChatGPT, I wouldn't have been able to go to market as fast as I did. Literally, I was able to go to market in 2 weeks from idea to execution for a new product. Let's look at what other companies have been doing in the last 2 months. Octopus Energy, which is a utility company, had found a way to use AI to do the work of 250 of their customer service staff. Okay, now they haven't let go of the customer service staff. They are training those people to now use it. But what they found was that the emails written by ChatGPT delivered 80% customer satisfaction compared to when they had their own trained people do the same thing. They were at 65% customer satisfaction. And this is what the CEO, Greg Jackson, said. Okay, now what I decided to do was apply it to a very important part of my business, which was the lead generation part, which is something that I not only have an expertise with, but I help my clients put this together. So I actually applied it to this simple workflow that is there, which is, I created a lead magnet, which is something valuable, solving a key problem that a customer has. Created a social media post to promote that lead magnet, drove them to a landing page, which was a standalone website, which got people to know more about that lead magnet and then capture their email IDs, send follow-up email sequences, and this led then to people booking a call. Okay, so for the kind of consulting work that a lot of you do, you are required to have a call with the client. So you need to nurture, first create a lead, then nurture the lead, get them ready to want to have a sales call. And this is essentially what I ended up working on. And it worked remarkably well. And we were able to get incredible results, not only for our business, but we were able to help others implement the same thing. Otherwise, this was something that used to take customers who know nothing about marketing a very long time. The same thing we were able to do in half an hour, and within a 2-hour period, all the content was ready for this. So it's just amazing what you can do. So if we are going to get amazing outputs out, then we are going to need to learn how to talk to ChatGPT. And the way that we talk to ChatGPT is through prompts. It's actually issuing instructions or asking it questions. And there's a particular way in which you do it. So if you ask quality questions, give it quality instructions, you get quality output out. If you give it very vague, ask it very vague questions or give it vague instructions, then you get very generic output out, and it's not very useful. Okay, so let me help you with the step-by-step process that will help you understand this. Okay, we have, because I spend so much time on it, so I'm always trying out different variations, and we've tried now thousands of prompts for different use cases across about 7 key elements of a business. For the last 9 years, I've been a business coach. So I've developed all these particular frameworks, and I know how to systemize a business and make it scalable. That is one of the ways in which we were able to really grow BNI in India. So that same methodology then I developed frameworks, which now we have been able to teach ChatGPT and use them across a number of different other AI tools. So this is the 6-part template that you need to know in order to effectively talk to ChatGPT and get really quality answers out. So step 1, simulate a persona or two. Think of it like this. The analogy is this, that if you have the sun by itself is not able to do any harm to us. It's not able to burn us. However, if you took the power of this sunlight, put it through a magnifying glass and focused the attention on a piece of paper, then it could actually burn that piece of paper. That's how focused the power of the sun can become. So the first thing I would say is that because it has been fed with so much incredible data, it can be an expert on anything or be a tool on anything. So you want to first harness the power of ChatGPT by asking it to say, okay, I want you to be a sales expert or an operations expert or whatever expertise that you want it to be on. Then what will happen is that you will be able to concentrate the power of the output. Secondly, you want it to give a clear and precise instruction on what the task is. Okay, so I'm using an example here. I want you to draft a follow-up email. Now that by itself is not going to be enough. We want to mention in step 3 the steps that are required. So we have to give it some further information and guide the response. So here we might want to mention the specific meeting that has happened. We might want to highlight the specific product. And if there were some concerns that the customer, the prospect addressed, then we need to address them. So we need to mention that we want to address them and what is the next step that we want. So these are, imagine a recipe just with ingredients is not enough. You need to give the steps, the sequence, how much ingredients you require in the sequence of that. Okay, so this is what you mentioned in the steps. Then you want to add some context and constraints. Okay, so provide some relevant context or constraint which will help ChatGPT understand this. So in this case, I am given some more important context that, look, this client, what kind of client is it? It's a small business. And the requirement is for a cost-effective solution because they don't have a big budget. Okay, so giving that will give it extra context. Imagine like this, if we don't put salt in the recipe, then immediately, even if we've used the best recipe without the salt, the taste is not going to be there. So, it's like knowing which spice to put, and then if you want something spicy, then you're giving it that specific, you're putting in that spice, okay? So here, giving that extra context, or even telling it what you don't want will help. Lastly, step 5, the penultimate step is, what is the end goal? What do you want to happen because of this action that you're asking ChatGPT to take? I'll give you an output, but what is the end result that you're expecting to happen using this output? Okay, so in this case, say this is the sales email, then we want the client to purchase. So if we're giving all this information, then it's, the output is much better. And then lastly, we can structure the output in the way that we want it, okay, which will make it useful for us. So in this case, we're mentioning it's a professional email, clear subject line, salutation, body and closing, okay. It's a very clever intern, but even if you don't give them specific instructions, then it could the intern could end up giving you something that you don't want. So the better instructions you give it, the better. Now, formatting is important whenever we are putting together something which is a professional communication. So if we get it formatted out, then it will just save us time in formatting. Okay. So let's see here, if we put all of these things together, we're crafting a sales email prompt. So then we're saying, hey, you know, we want you to act as a sales assistant. We want you to draft a follow-up email. These are the key steps. This is the context. It's a small business. They want a cost-effective solution. This is the end goal, and this is the structure. So if we were to write all of this, then this is how a really good prompt would look. So you can take this as a screenshot, because all the things here that I mentioned, now you're talking to it in a language that it will really understand, and it will be able to give you some amazing output. Okay. If you put the specific product name, you put the customer name, you know, all of those things as well, then it will give you an email with all of those things ready. Okay, so that may be hard to remember. So the easy way is to remember SPACES. What is SPACES? It's an acronym that will help you remember. So what I would say is take a screenshot of this, write SPACES on a sticky note in front of you and put it on your monitor or your laptop. So every time that you engage with ChatGPT, this becomes second nature. And you say, hey, you know, specific task persona, add context and constraints. What are the steps? What's the end goal? And what's the structure of the output? Okay, so this is really, really important. This is a very important way in which to structure a framework that will allow you to talk to ChatGPT effectively. And prompt engineers are some of the most highly paid people in the world right now. Okay, a prompt engineer in the US for Anthropic was being given some $250,000 to do prompt engineering. So it is going to become a very valuable skill. And if you really want amazing output and save a couple of hours in a day, then you become a great prompt engineer. Okay, so I think it will make more sense if I show you some of these prompts in action, okay? So that you can really see the incredible quality and speed at which the output comes. So I'm looking at 5 key areas, okay? And I'll try to kind of tie it back to what ISODA members would be going through, okay? So everyone should have a strategic business plan. Okay, putting together a business plan is tough, okay? And then particularly customizing it for your business, okay? So we'll show you how to do that in a second. Content marketing, particularly when we are selling new technologies which require people to be educated, is going to be then important. And we want to create content which is SEO optimized. Then, you know, how do we create powerful case studies? Because case studies are a great way for us to social proof that we have solved a key problem that customers have, okay? And if we show them for industries that are similar to the kind of prospect we're trying to get, then, you know, it becomes even more powerful. So you will be able to increase your conversions. And then many of us have to analyze data. Take for one of the things, as a technology supplier, you may have a big price list, you know, which is a huge spreadsheet. And then, you know, how do you kind of extract data out of that and advise clients, make some internal decisions? We'll show you that. Create a customized email update. I'll show you another case study as well of that. Okay, so how is everyone doing so far? Am I going at a good enough speed? If you can just type in the chat so I can just see how everyone is doing.
Going is good.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Good. Nice. Okay. So let me now show you. Let's get into ChatGPT itself. Okay. So I'm going to show you. Let's look at creating a particular strategic business plan. Okay. So I have done a particular prompt here that you can see here. Help me create a 5P promotion plan for a B2B IT hardware and services company, okay, that targets small business owners and MSMEs in India, okay. So I have written this, okay. I had already trained it on how to put together these particular plans, okay. And then in front of you, I'm going to just save it, okay. And then just see in front of you, right now, it is creating the plan, okay? And it has identified who the prospect is. Typically, what are the kind of problems that the prospect is facing? It is identified maybe how you're able to position yourself in terms of the product in a positive way. So, it says our company offers top-notch IT hardware and services, specifically tailored for SMEs in India. We provide a range of products and services from servers to network equipment to IT consulting and maintenance. Okay. And then this is really cool. Okay. It shows specific pathways in which you can begin to create your sales and marketing strategy to get in front of the target clients. Okay. So here, blog posts, articles, content marketing, a lead magnet, which could be a white paper or an ebook, about the benefits of updating your infrastructure, then the follow-up email, a sales call, and then, product or service pitch, using LinkedIn, using direct email, Google Ads, participating in trade shows, all of those things. So immediately, just by me giving this particular prompt, now I have ended up training it on, what a good plan is, okay, which I'm not showing you right now, but I'm just showing you that if someone who has expertise looks at harnessing their expertise, sharing examples of such plans, and then saying, okay, now I want you to act as a expert business plan creator, okay, and help me create this, it is able to do so, okay? So here, say, one of the things that it asked us to do is, use content marketing. So now let's use ChatGPT to, put together some content, for us, which is SEO optimized, okay? So what I did was, again, there's a long prompt here using spaces, okay? But then I said, okay, one of the services I want to talk about is cloud computing, okay? So then what it came up with was a cluster, and people who are into SEO will understand this. So then here they came up with keyword cluster. So, you could look at definition, benefits, types, things like that. And then the specific keyword that we wanted to target, okay? And then what is the search intent? Because there's different kinds of search intent, okay? Someone might be looking for information, or, someone is looking to make a commercial decision, so depending on the different types of search intent. And then, we also wanted a title for the blog post or the topic. And then we wanted a meta description as well. So it automatically, gives us all of this, okay? And, it helps look at the, not just cloud computing, but then against cloud computing, what other important keywords are there? So cost saving, scalability, flexibility, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, so all of those, okay? Now, this is really good, okay? But it doesn't end there. So then, I go, okay, I don't have time to write all of these things, okay? So, ChatGPT, why don't you do all of this for me? I want you to act as a LinkedIn expert, okay, a content strategist, put together a monthly calendar for me with a catchy title of the above topics, include 3 main bullet points, okay, and format all of this in an easy to read table, okay? So here, I want to post 3 times a week, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And my target market is, again, I'm just reminding it, SMEs and large Indian corporates, okay? And literally, it gives me, from next week, 17th, 19th, 21, etc. So it's giving me not only the title, but it's giving me the key bullet points that I should be putting together content for this. Now, because I'm a LinkedIn expert, I have been training LinkedIn on how to write viral posts, okay? So then I went ahead and used one of these, and I go to my LinkedIn post training that I have created, and then I say, hey, make me a viral post about cloud computing, how it can revolutionize business operations. And I want you to include these points. How can we have save costs? So 3 ways in which we can save costs. And then, I want you to share one real world example in an SME and in a large Indian corporate, okay? So it went ahead and then it did it, it identified what the topic is, what the pain point is, who the target audience is, what's the tone of the voice, and the hook. And then it went ahead and gave us the post, okay? So look at this post, okay? Here's a secret I wish I had known earlier. The cloud isn't just up in the sky, it's transforming our business right here, right now. Okay, now ChatGPT came up with it. Now, I've written, thousands of LinkedIn posts. Trust me, this is an excellent hook and opening, okay? Then it continues, think about it. Those traditional IT systems, they're not only cost intensive, but also rigid. Limited, but imagine a world where you can scale your operations with a few clicks, reduce IT costs by a landslide, and innovate without boundaries. That's the power of cloud computing. So now, in the second paragraph, it's given us a great piece of context, and then it goes on and says, you can use it for cost saving, scalability, and agility, and it's giving it to us as a bullet point. Now let's talk about real world impact. And then, consider the case of Adani and, how it's used AWS cloud. And, I fact checked this. I checked, and yes, Adani is using AWS. In fact, AWS has done a little case study on how they're using it. And then it's given us a little one about an SME called Cross Villa, okay? By adopting it, how it was able to use it during a peak sales season online. And so it said, look, whether you're a startup, SME, or a large corporate, the cloud offers a new realm of possibilities driving efficiencies. Are you ready to rise above? Okay, and then it's used even the right hashtags. Okay, so incredible. So, here I was telling you, look at the 3 things it has done, okay? It's helped you put together a business plan. it has taken one of the business plan strategies. We have then put together an SEO optimized content marketing plan. Not only that, it has put together the calendar, and then it has put together the post that is there. Okay. Simply amazing. Okay. Okay, so I hope everyone's getting an idea of the power of this. Give me a second. What else had we said? Okay, so one of the things that's very important is you also want to show proof. Okay, so you want to show case studies. We all do amazing work, but it's time consuming and challenging to put together a good case study. Okay, so again, I looked at some of the best ways in which you could do that. Then I developed a structure, and even I was someone who had amazing case studies, but not written up in a way where I could use them. Okay, so I said, you know what, we need to be able to use them. Okay, so let me show you another example where we've ended up using it. Okay, so here, for Sonakshi, so she's one of my LinkedIn clients. She has a B2B SaaS software. Okay, so then I said, look, I wanted covering these 5 key points. So I identified, okay, first, who's the customer and what they do. Secondly, I figured out, okay, what was the challenge that she was facing when she came to me. Okay, then third, what was our assessment of the situation. Then fourth, what were the 3 to 5 steps that we asked her to take and we helped her to take. And then lastly, what were the end results. Okay, and then we said, turn all of this into an email case study. So, here automatically it turned it into a case study. Okay, and here automatically it turned it into, these were the things we assessed and we asked her to do, and then these were the amazing results that she got. Impressive. And then like at that point in time, I think I was running a online 5-day LinkedIn personal branding challenge. I said, we'll help you do the same. Okay, and sign up. And then here it had forgotten to give the PS. I said, hey, add a PS. Okay, and you can see here it ended up giving the PS. If an entrepreneur looking to up your LinkedIn game and generate leads, you won't want to miss this opportunity. Join our challenge. Okay, so it ended up giving everything. Now tomorrow, if you say, hey, turn this into a professional case study, and write it up as a 1-page case study that I can, share with my clients, it will be able to do it. So this is amazing. Okay, next, let's look at financial data. Imagine you have this incredible price list that you put together, and there's a price list of data. I'll show you kind of data. It's quite complicated and it's long data. Okay, so let me open up the data. Okay, so this is laptop data. Okay, so it, and a lot of you may be having things like this already. So what's the name of the company, the type of the, is it an ultrabook, notebook, desktop, whatever, what's the RAM, what's the weight, certain kind of price thing, touchscreen, yes or no, various, what kind of CPU, storage, SSD, HD, GPU, various OS, things like that. Okay, so we want to end up making some important decisions based on this, but you can see here, I mean, it's such an extensive database that I mean, it's 1,274 pieces of data. You know, like, it's too much. Okay, so say we have a customer and they want to end up doing something. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we can end up doing it. Okay, so I'm going to now this you can do on the premium version of ChatGPT, which costs about $20. Okay, so it's called ChatGPT Plus. Okay, so what I'm going to do for a second here is we will use that. Okay, so I will start a new chat. Okay, and in the new chat here, you know, I wanted to be able to use a particular one. Okay, so give me a second. I'll just put on Safari. Sorry, I use some other extensions, so it could be difficult to understand. Okay, so I'll just open up a very plain looking, what everyone will normally end up seeing. Okay, so here I am going to go for ChatGPT 4, okay, which is the paid version. Okay, and then there is a beta plugin, which is Code Interpreter. Okay, so I'm going to check that here. Okay, and then here I'm going to end up uploading that file. Okay, and anything that you upload here is safe. Now imagine this is confidential data. Okay, so this is safe. It doesn't get sent to them. It's a little sandbox that is created, which is private. Okay, and now you want to say, okay, help me identify a gaming PC that okay, identify the top 3 gaming PCs in terms of price, performance, and hardware. Okay, now look, I'm not an expert in this, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it much better, but I'm just showing you a simple prompt. Okay, I kind of press enter. It now begins to work through the data. Okay, and it now even identifies what is the criteria for top. Okay, so performance, price, and then hardware. So specify, it's asking me to specify for top. So I will say performance is what I mean by top. Okay, so now let's see what it comes up with. So understood. And it also now gives some criteria in how it's deciding to do this. And then it gives us a criteria, and I say I like this criteria. I say, yes, that sounds good. Go ahead. Okay, so now it's doing some really funky, cool data analysis. Okay. Then I say, sounds good. It's even giving me criteria about how it's going to do that. Okay. And then I'm just saying sounds good because, look, to be frank, I am not an expert and I don't understand these things. You guys will be good at understanding these things, but I just want to show you the example, okay? So now here, it has finished, and then it is giving us the report. So, yeah, and then you can like figure out whether that's something that is good or not. So how cool is that? Okay, so imagine then we wanted to turn this into an email, okay, to the customer, and then talk about why we're recommending this. Okay, it will be able to turn this into something that a customer would understand as well. Okay, I am kind of just done with that. I wanted to take you through. Now, this is really cool, right? You're able to do all these amazing things, okay? But there are 7 limitations you need to know about, okay? Number 1, it suffers from AI hallucinations, okay? It is a very confident bullshitter. Sometimes it gets, it pretends to know things, okay? So you need to fact check it. So take, for example, when it had mentioned Adani and, Crafts Villa, I actually just checked that just to make sure and on Google. Remember, it's been trained up to internet data until June 2021. So how do you bypass it? You just use Bing Chat, okay? Because Bing is a Microsoft search engine, so it has all the latest information up to date, and it integrated with the power of ChatGPT-4, so the paid version. So you can actually get access to the paid version for free using Bing Chat. Okay, so that's how you get around that. Number 3, it may fail to understand the context, and therefore, if you use the spaces format that I told you, it will understand the context very well. If you give it in number 4, it may give you nonsensical answers. Nonsensical answers happens because of vague or prompts, or if you're not using, if you're using terms that could be misunderstood, or you're making a request which is easy to misunderstand. Okay. Next, copyright concerns. Yes, it's already, OpenAI is facing a lawsuit in the US. Okay. Now, I've been doing a lot of research on this. So a lot of the ways in which these large language models have been trained, okay, would be what I will call fair usage of copyright data, okay? And it is likely that the copyright lawyers will argue that, it can be used to train that. It cannot multitask, so if you're talking about one thing, then you can't suddenly switch tasks and say, oh, now do this. On one side, you're talking about how to do a LinkedIn post, and then you follow up another prompt and say, okay, give me a recipe for, I don't know, aloo bindi. It could get mixed up. It's not, different tasks, start different chats, okay? And then lastly, it is pretty good at feigning empathy, but it's a machine at the end of the day. It just pretends to be empathetic. It's not actually empathetic, okay? So these are some of the limitations that are there, okay?
The market. I've been watching AI closely for a while.
So I want you to see this video, and then we'll kind of go into the Q&A.
The market. I've been watching AI closely for a while, and we've reached what they call the elbow of the exponential curve. So exponential technologies start and they seem like they're not making any progress, and then they hit the elbow of the curve and it seems almost to be a straight vertical. And the key is to not get left behind. So please don't waste a single minute lamenting how things are changing. Change is inevitable, and change at this speed is dangerous if you're not paying attention. By the way, if you don't know who I am, I'm Tom Bilyeu, co-founder of Quest Nutrition and Impact Theory, One of those companies I sold for $1 billion, and the other one has generated roughly 500 million views. I've made a lot of money and touched a lot of lives by seeing opportunities that others have missed, and I'm telling you, AI is the opportunity that you've been waiting for, but you have to make a move. Given how much AI has already altered our systems, over the next few years, I'm expecting it to majorly accelerate our ability to test and learn, not just here, in society. And whoever learns the fastest is going to win.
Okay, so we have left some time for Q&A. I'm happy to take some questions right now.
Neeraj, hi, Devesh here.
Hi.
Hey. A quick question. How accurate did you find 3.5 turbo versus 4.0?
4.0 is amazing at context and reasoning, because remember, there's a huge difference between the data sets, right? 4 has been trained on 1 trillion bits of data, whereas 3.5 have been trained on, 100 billion, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So it is a big difference. When I'm asking for formatting or things that require more complex reasoning, GPT-4 wins hands down, and it still outperforms Bard, Anthropic, any of the other ones out there.
Now, the reason I asked from a cost-benefit analysis, because the cost difference between a 3.5 turbo versus 4 is almost 20 times.
Yeah.
If you have done the cost-benefit, and we are already launching a solution on OpenAI, and we have made an interface on how you can write a prompt. So you can actually, the spaces that you mentioned, we have actually put that as parameterized, and then that we can send a prompt to.
Yeah, you'll get very good output if you use spaces. Okay. So
So my question was, sorry, let me complete my question. So similar to that, we have created the front end. Now for the customer, for the consumer to use. We have realized a lot of resistance from customers for 4.0 purely from a cost perspective, because like I said, it's 20 times more than 3.5 turbo. So that's what we are trying to understand. What should we focus on? Whether we should focus on, our solution should focus on 3.5 turbo or 4.0. One major difference in 3.5 turbo is it doesn't give you rounding. And that's where we lose a lot of accuracy also from a fact check perspective that you mentioned. But I have seen 3.5 turbo is not bad. And we have already have customers where we have sold a solution with 3.5 turbo. So from a cost benefit analysis, I'm still not able to figure out.
No, so what I will do, right, I would advise right now is go with 3.5, get people using it, okay? They begin to see the benefit of that, and then say that, look, if you use 4, then this is how much further you're able to push it. And then, you for the same prompt, you're able to kind of show them the different results, which is typically how I end up doing it. And then, everyone is kind of sold on 4.
No, they're sold on 4, but the use cases that we are talking about, they are high in volume. So then the cost also goes up 20 times.
Okay, so
then, that's where the cost comes in.
Yeah, stick with 3.5 right now.
Okay.
So I want to ask a very basic question.
Yes.
In your presentation, actually, you uploaded a file in ChatGPT.
Yes.
Now, in my prompt, actually, there is no any option of uploading that is seen. So how did you upload? Because even I asked the question to ChatGPT how to upload. It says that there is no facility. You need to copy paste.
Yes. So this is another reason to go for the paid version of
ChatGPT. Already I have gone for paid version. I do have Plus.
So then that means that you've just not put that on. So I'll just quickly show you where you can get this functionality there. So if you go to your let me just show you okay. So if, like, say here I go into settings, okay, then there is general beta and data control. So if you go into beta, okay, you have to toggle on code interpreter and plugins. Code interpreter is what I use to be able to upload the file. Now you're able to upload any kind of file.
Oh, great.
Okay, and then plugins, if you want to then be able to read documents that you have on your Google Drive, and then that's what you will be using. Okay.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. But somehow very surprisingly, when I asked ChatGPT itself the question, it says there's no facility. That is
because it's in beta, so it will not say that.
Yeah.
That extension is still in beta, so it won't say that.
Yeah, which is why I'm just saying to people that you need to keep yourself abreast of what is going on, and the developments are coming thick and fast. Okay, code interpreter I only got access to it on Monday, and already I've identified 10 use cases. In fact, I'm going to do a post about it. Next week about that. I just haven't had time. I've been playing around and seeing what results. But I wanted to show you something which was very relevant to you and your industry.
Great, sir. Thanks.
Welcome. Anyone else? There is stunned silence.
So I think if you share your contact, people get back to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody else.
Let me just do that. Just give me a second. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. My question is that if we are using the ChatGPT created content in SEO part, and it's unique, obviously unique. But when talking about the guidelines of the search engine land or the Google, then this says that automated content is a spam. So is it true or not?
I did not hear that clearly. So all I have heard is that you are creating content using ChatGPT and then something regarding Google. So what can you just clarify?
I'm saying that when I'm reading a blog over the search engine land, so that automated content or AI generated content is not giving the value in terms of Google ranking. So is it true, or we can use some kind of a manual interface also?
Yes.
Or we just put the AI generated content?
Okay, I've understood your question. I'll rephrase it.
I don't want to do it on.
Just confirm that this is correct.
I would like to choose it online.
Sorry, I'll just.
Vinod, please mute yourself, Vinod. We can hear what you're talking.
Don't worry, he's muted himself. Okay. So Arvind's question is as follows. He's using ChatGPT to create content. Okay. And then his concern is that is ChatGPT content not going to rank or is going to be penalized by Google. Okay. So there is a excellent person who is an expert at this on LinkedIn called Jake Ward, who's based in the UK. And he has been able to, he's an SEO expert, and he has been able to, using ChatGPT generated content, being able to get his clients' blogs ranked very highly and get a massive increase in number of traffic, okay, and ranking. So it is not true that Google is penalizing it. And yes, there are some tools like originality.ai, okay, which will give you a ranking as to what does it pass a detection test. Okay. So what people have got good at is writing prompts that will then produce content, which is good content, but can pass these AI detection tools. So,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let me just, I'll just end with some things in case.
Neeraj, there are some questions in the comment, if you can just address those.
Is Copilot for Excel available right now? No, they've unfortunately not yet released it. To get Copilot for Excel, you need to be an enterprise user and be currently using their BI modules, okay? But from the Microsoft team, and I know a number of the people who are kind of, senior channel partners here, what they're saying is that over time, they're going to be integrating it across that. But, what happens right now with the code interpreter beta, it actually just allows you to upload an Excel. It even allows you to, it will automatically clean the data, because most of us, the kind of Excels that we use, okay, we may design them in a way that they look good, but they don't follow very good data practices. So what happens is that it will take care of all of those particular things, and you will be able to do so many more things with that. But sooner or later, it will become part of our everyday. If you're a Office 365 user, I'm sure that in maybe by the end of this year, we should be able to see this functionality. It may be a higher cost, but it will be there. Sudhir, I'm not sure I understand the question, how to integrate ChatGPT in our product. I don't know what the product is, so I'm not able to tell you.
Maybe you can share your contact here, Neeraj, on the chat.
Yeah. Let me do that because we're through with the session. So
Sudhir, Devesh, if you want some help there, let me know. We are already doing that, so we can connect offline.
So what I want to just say, these are the final three things I want you to say. Takeaway. Seize the AI opportunities by following these 3 steps. Number 1, reframe your thinking about AI. See it as a powerful tool, not the enemy. You won't be replaced by AI. You'll be replaced by someone who is effectively using AI. Number 2, face the disruption ahead. Identify where things are changing, vulnerabilities, and adapt to it. And master the AI tools relevant to your field. Definitely ChatGPT is one of them, but then there are lots of other AI tools that are there, okay, that would be relevant to your specific niche. So begin to know that. So there might be like some cloud hosting related AI, or that is there, or cybersecurity related AI, and things like that. So again, know what those are and begin to get familiar with those, and then begin to integrate them. If you would like to set something like this up, then I do have a training available for this, which is only $9.99. I will share a link. If you guys are on LinkedIn, then you can follow me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my QR code, and just a second, if you want access to that other training that I just mentioned, then you're able to do it from here. I will just give my number as well, so people are able to save it. Okay, so that's my number there. And it's my email. Alrighty.
Yeah, we got it, Neeraj. Yes, so Neeraj, thank you so much for spending so much time, and thank you all for attending. I'm sure like you have just scratched the surface. So people who are interested will be in touch with you. Thanks, Neeraj. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks. I really appreciate the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.